excuse me. We're meeting today as the Provo City School District Board of Education, and we're meeting at 280 West, 940 North. We're going to begin our business meeting today with a roll call, and we'll start with Board Member Hall.
Melanie Hall, Board Member.
Gina Hales, Board Member.
Meg Van Wagenen, Board Member.
Wendy Dow, Superintendent.
Rebecca Nielsen, Board President.
Jennifer Partridge, Vice President.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Lisa Boyce, Board Member.
Devin Daly, Business Administrator.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to convene our business meeting today?
I move we convene our business meeting.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Partridge. We're now in our business meeting. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, led by our Assistant Superintendent, Daryl Jensen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone tonight who would like to give public input to the board? No? Okay, great. Then we will go ahead and close the public input portion of our meeting. We just have one quick item of discussion that we did not have enough time for in our study session, and that is item H from our study session, which was a board handbook discussion. So we'll just have that discussion quickly, and then we'll get on to our business items. The gist of this is that Melanie and I have spent, I don't know, a good 8 or 10 hours or maybe more.
Like four or five Wednesdays.
4 or 5 Wednesdays in a row, working on the board handbook, working on revisions and updates, and trying to make sure that it's going to be something that's useful to board members. And we sent it out to everyone asking for any kind of input. And we're here to discuss that input. Do you have a lot of input, Lisa? Did you?
I didn't. I skipped that part of my job.
That's okay. We don't have to finish it today.
Thank you for your work.
but we're happy to take input. We're going to need to approve it as a board. We did, I don't know, 4 years ago was our last revision. We actually approved it.
Very small updates when we did it 4 years ago.
Yeah, this one is quite a bit. This one's quite extensive. And if anyone would like to see the actual red line version, we have that. It's a huge mess because we really moved things around, but we have it if you want to see that. But what we send everyone is the actual revised handbook. So Terry, it looks like you have some suggestions. I'm ready.
I did some edits in the actual document.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to make sure there's consistent font.
Okay.
Because there's not. And font size and
like
line spacing.
Some of the fonts were because
of the headings, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the headings and footers, the what? Yeah, this is us making this, and then we're going to give it to Shauna and Bonnie to make it pretty.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Bonnie, make sure they
Bonnie, you can work on the formatting for us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only, the rest of it I just put in the actual document.
Okay, we'll make sure to look at those. Did anybody else have any thoughts or any input on the board handbook? Or do we need a little bit more time for everyone to be able to look at it in a little bit more depth? Because I'm sure you guys all want to read a 30-page document.
Well, it's like only 20 pages now. It went from 45 down to 20.
I do.
Ooh,
Yes.
I approve.
I'm sorry
Can we
that I
vote
did
now?
We tried to, just a
First
couple
reading.
things for people who haven't been able to look at, like everything is linked in there. So if it references any kind of policy, it's linked to the policy. If it references any kind of state code, that's all linked in there. The table of contents is now like a living thing where if you hover over it, you click on it and it'll take you directly to that page. There's a lot of really neat new things in there. Plus we condensed down a lot of things. We took out the old board goals and put in all of our new strategic plan items. We condensed, there were several categories that were saying the same thing. We condensed down. I mean, it should be a lot easier to read than what we had. So shall we take a little bit more time?
When do we want to vote on it?
We just really want it in place before
January.
Before new board members come on, new board member.
I will repent and look at it now. So
Forgiven.
if you give me a couple more weeks or something, I promise. I look, and if I don't, then you can fire me from the board, please.
What I'll also try to remember to do is remind everyone, send some reminders, if that will help. But
Do we need to add it in the handbook that there are 7 of us as a reminder? And if we can't all get to everything, it's okay.
why
So,
don't you, okay, yeah.
No, well, that, I was just responding to Gina. I don't know if that has to be in the handbook.
Oh.
But I was wondering if we do want anything in the handbook. I haven't thought about it long enough to know if it's a good idea or not, so I'm just throwing it out there. But just a section about visiting schools, for example, for our new board members, like how do you even sign in to the Raptor system? But then also protocol of, do you just show up unannounced? Do you let the principal know you're coming? Those kinds of things.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
And I can't remember if it's in here already, but if you're going to a PTA or school community council meeting, remembering that it's their meeting and we're observers.
So Jennifer, one of the ones you had on here was winter 2025.
Or maybe like January 25. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we were we can even just put in there like 2025. Like, we don't have to have winter, but just say, because that's when we're going to be approving it, is by January of 2025.
We want to approve it before then, right?
So, yeah, I think the date was just so that it's when it's approved. So they know that that's, so.
We can put that approved. You can just put that in approved winter, or just
Approved
2025.
winter
or on the date.
2024.
We should approve it in December, or at least by December.
yeah,
We're trying to
that's-
approve it
If
by
we
December.
approve December, I was
that's
just
good.
thinking then it begins January 25. I don't know.
But if just
Looking
so that
ahead.
people are aware that this was approved then, so that you can update that as you
Yeah.
go.
We want it to just say revised/approved December 24,
Yeah.
or we want the approval date, or do we want how the strategic plan has effective
Or
date?
effective date, maybe.
I'd say effective date.
Effective date. Okay.
So Lisa said I needed to ask, one of my comments is the casual use of Robert's rules.
That was from the previous board handbook.
Right,
So
but why are we keeping it? Because is that a specific thing?
Well, we took a
or-
whole section out of the Roberts rules.
Okay.
Like,
But I also believe it's because we actually do use Robert's Rules of Orders fairly casually. We don't follow it
to
like
the
to the
T.
T, like it's prescribed. Like if you followed it to the T, we would be way more,
Okay.
I mean, orderly, and we wouldn't be able to make our funny jokes and comments and stuff like that, so I say we go for casual.
Casual, please.
Okay. But if you don't like that, you can absolutely comment on that.
No,
and
I
we
just
can-
wondered what casual, what it meant. That was all.
And that was
I
the
saw her
wording.
question and I had the same. That was
Yeah,
all.
but that was the
I think-
wording that was in the prior handbook
Okay.
too.
It was casual, which feels right.
Yeah.
It feels accurate,
Okay.
at least, by the way we use Robert's Rules.
Thank you.
But we could use a different phrasing if everybody feels like that
Anyone think
makes
of
it sound too casual.
But we can choose to
What
say
extent?
extent.
Informal.
Informal. We could say
Yeah,
informal instead of
maybe is a
casual.
little bit,
Okay.
because we're not bound to a certain extent of the use of the rules. Is that correct?
Right, there's nothing,
It's more just so we can kind of maintain order in our
exactly.
meetings, right? and
We
have
adopt,
ways.
adopt the way we want to use it, I guess, so.
Okay. So I do think informal is probably.
Okay, informal, got it.
Thank you for doing all this work, and I promise to look at it. Because I actually am really interested. I'm sure Jennifer remembers my first USBA, 1 week into the job, I was like, come up here with me in my binder. And I had tons of questions through that old handbook. So I really am grateful for this, because there were a lot of things
Awesome.
in there I didn't understand.
Anything else, anyone else? Okay, perfect, then we are done with our discussion. We'll go ahead and move on to our business items. Item A is updated policy 6110, donations and fundraising, and Devin, if you could summarize that for us.
So this is an update to the fundraising and donation policy, really just itemizing the guiding principles for the donations and fundraising policy and how we do fundraising at the schools. It also removes any requirement for it to be on the fee sheet, so that it's a little bit clearer for what the actual fee is a parent needs to pay for. It also allows for the schools to take donations. It can go to the foundation, but it does need to be approved by the foundation board for those donations. And then creates the need for equity between the schools and oversight by the district.
Great, thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve updated policy 6110, donations and fundraising, as discussed in study session.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Hales. Any further comments or discussion, starting with Board Member Boyce, if there's any? I will forever say Board Member Boyce, and I'm sorry.
You could even say Boyd member
It's a
board.
tongue, it's a tongue twister. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Item B in our business items, new policy 4158, the non-enrolled student participation in district activities.
This is a new policy that just outlines how charter school students, homeschool students, online students, and private school students just clarifies their participation in activities in our schools, both athletics and otherwise.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve new policy 4158 as discussed in study session.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Partridge. Any further comments or discussion, starting with Board Member Van Wagenen, if there's any?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, great. We'll vote then. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn our business meeting.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Hall. We are adjourned.
Don't forget about our meeting with the city.